Theresa Sareo, a New York singer-songwriter who lost a leg in a traffic accident, produced a video named Alive Again, aimed to show how she uses her art to cope, heal, and survive.
At a recent visit to Tampa's James A. Haley Veterans Hospital, VA News had a chance to learn how her interactions with wounded veterans made the healing process a two-way street.
The life of singer-songwriter Theresa Sareo changed when a horrible accident nearly silenced her voice.
On June 11, 2002, Ms. Theresa Sareo was severely injured when she was struck by a car on a Manhattan street.
The recovery process was difficult. I probably was one of the very few females to suffer a right hip disarticulation. Most lower limb amputees still have part of their limbs. So it's very rare. I'm only in like the top 2% of all lower limb amputees to lose your hip joint. I was feeling incredibly sorry for myself at that point. And I felt very alone and isolated and didn't really know anyone who was living life with amputation, and started seeing our troops on the news channels coming back from Iraq with traumatic amputations. And I just was so moved by this. I was in awe, actually. And I had two reactions. The first reaction was my heart broke for them, because here I was in the throes of being newly disabled and trying to figure this out, and I thought, this is such a hard life, and these kids are so young, and this is so unfair that they have to end up this way so young in their lives. And then my other reaction was actually kind of joyful, because I thought, oh my gosh, these are my peeps. I don't feel so alone, and I was drawn to want to go be with them. So it became my mission to want to go to Walter Reed Army Hospital and visit with them. My desire to want to visit the troops came from a need for myself to feel less isolated in my suffering. And I realized once I met the troops and started engaging with them, and we would talk about trauma recovery, that the healing process became this two-way street. And not only was I feeling better, but hopefully they were feeling better. Visiting troops at Walter Reed, I heard about James A. Haley, because a lot of troops were being sent to James A. Haley for traumatic brain injury. And they set up a little mini concert for me to do for our veterans over the Thanksgiving holiday. I was introduced to Mary Donovan from the Recreation Department and Joe Shamp from the Prosthetics Department. And Mary had asked if I would do a favor. She pulled me aside. She said, before we do this concert, we have a family on our ward, the recreation ward with the polytrauma unit. We have a soldier that's been here a few weeks, and he's very severely wounded. Then meeting Joel, he is such a lovely human spirit. There is no way you can't fall in love with him. And so I just instantly became friends with the family, and the friendship continued after that day.
You and I have something in common. Thank you for visiting.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Feel free to at any time.
Well, I can't wait to see how far you've come the next time I come back.
It's enlightening to them that she does everything that she does, and makes them realize that there is hope and there is a future, and there will be a time they will return, whether it's to active duty or just an active lifestyle, vocationally rehabilitated, social and environmentally reconditioned.
What works for me is to stay connected to people who A, care about you, and B, people who are going through a similar experience, because it lessens your isolation. And when you give service to others, you heal yourself. There is a true healing process in telling your stories and sharing your stories with other trauma survivors.
During her visit, Theresa, along with retired Air Force Colonel Lou Ramos, donated $8,000 to the James A. Haley Hospital from the proceeds of her military appreciation concert held in Tampa last year.